Hello, Divine Sunshiners. Stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago. This is Divine Sunshine coming to you with the check-in on this divine masculine that has this sexual addiction. My friend Rhea, I teased her, I said she's going to be my resident researcher, has given me some information about men and sex. I've seen this person is already, Boss Tarot has talked about him. I've talked about him a while back. I've seen Fiery Grace is now talking about this guy. Jupiter 1111 spoke talking about Ghetto Nun has talked about this. So this guy is always, and some of you all are new to this journey, there's a DM energy I'll call spirit that kind of like kits and tells people like, listen here, I need help. I remember one time Jupiter 1111 he hit me first about the SOS, and then I told her about that, and then she went on and said we had worked together to try to figure out this guy. So I don't know if this SOS guy has turned into the sexual addiction guy or whatever it is there, but some of them will call out those group of divine masculines that are suffering from something, will call out and draw attention to readers to say, hey, I'm suffering, I need help, this. So going back to Rhea, Rhea sent me something and I wanted to share with you all from what she had researched. And she stated that she had found something on TED Talk about a male baby pre-birth holding his penis and would often touch it. And so it's saying from the womb, the boy is feeling the nurturing of the feel-good feeling and how to get it. That's at the beginning, okay? So men, this is what's saying, go for boobs in a big way. It is a symptom of a need to make up for neglected childhood nurturing needs when the mother did not know how to nurture, sickness prevented breastfeeding, or a number of reasons. Okay? Okay. Now, this is a statement that she has shared here saying that like women like to be cuddled and they like the intimacy, but women can kind of go without the sex all the time, because to us that's like true intimacy, and we can use our imagination and heart and other things to say, okay, I'm good. When it comes to the men's aspect, we have here said men are not able to cuddle for too long, and that's depending on the man, if they're really coming from a healthy place and they're not distorted, because they end up wanting sex as an expression of intimacy, and this causes a problem. So a man reverts to masturbation to nurture the fulfilling feelings. Okay. So in so many ways, what she's saying, this act of this unfulfillment with the divine masculine energy causes for him to be, as I call it, looking for love in all the wrong places. And this is what's going on now with this divine masculine. So what I want to do is just kind of see what's going on. Now, again, that's controversial. You all could share your comments down at the bottom about men and saying, yes, I am capable of hugging for long periods of time. I get a fork in the road when I read that part, because I think that you are. I think if you're in a healthy place and you're really secure and you're really grounded and standing in your solar plexus area is very is healthy and not blocked, that's a possibility. All of the masculine chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plex, can help you to be able to do that. If those are all unblocked and able, and you could hold for long periods of time. So that statement I'm not totally 100% in agreement with what she researched and she had gained and she found. But I'm just giving you a kind of like a backstory as to why maybe this divine masculine is acting or doing what he's doing. So I just want to very quickly say, I got to go fix dinner. I want to get to the heart of the matter. What's going on with this divine masculine? Let's talk to this divine masculine and get really an understanding of, I thought I had already did that, but he's showing up again. So we're going to visit him one more time and see what's going on with this. We're going to analyze. Okay, that might be so, but let's look clear. We're going to analyze. It's like a case study of this divine masculine. What's going on with him? Okay. Right now he's experiencing the dark night of the soul, and he's probably going around from channel to channel because he's not really understanding this hierarchical structure that he has here. I went over this before, the Maslow's. Look at Maslow's hierarchy and needs, where you got different levels of it. You're starting from the basic needs, the psychological needs, and then the self-actualization needs there, which is more higher, like more spiritual. You got your the other psychological needs there again, and then you got your basic needs. So he's really trying to understand, where does this sexual need come from? On what is this basic, or this, trying to make it go up the hierarchy to mean more meaningful than what it is. Because right now it's just like, he's just going after, as they say, God say, just these basic people, or these like Boss Tarot was talking about, these thoughts. Those are basic. It's nothing you can build with that. The divine feminine will be high off the hierarchy chain, and then you got the other one, the soulmate or whatever. It's like that in between there. But just getting anybody like he had met in the Boss Tarot reading that I had did, just getting somebody because your friend introduced, that's like basic needs. Understanding where does sex fall into that. He's got to work with this human psyche, his mind, getting that under control as well. They want him, the divine catalyst, they want him to really move into this spirituality. This is what's going on here. His spirit. We moving from that mindset, that making that connection from the 3D, moving from 4th D into 5th dimensions. He's really trying to move into being this true divine masculine, the sun, the ruler over everything, music, art, intuition, awareness, visionary, prophecy, healing, light, ability, aim, and target. So this is what's going on with him. And then understanding that we got Taurus. So right now he's experiencing a storm, a typhoon of right now of emotions. Is there anything else you want me to clarify for this about what's going on with this? Any kind of clarifications? These two stick out because again, he's looking for it to be results orientated. It's like, when I do this and I mess around and I'm having sex just to be having sex, I don't like the end result of it. I want to change that. And they say differentiating. I didn't even look at it. I was talking to you. And so he wants to be able to differentiate between what's healthy sex, what's not good sex, what's having relationships with people that are healthy, that's not healthy. So this is what he's moving into. I feel like with this person saying, I no longer want to be having my penis be my second mind that's taking control of everything. My second mind is taking control of everything, and that's like the place that he no longer wants to be in anymore. Okay. Let me do it for time because I want to be. Oh, wait, did I put down? Oh, I put it over here. Okay, I got 15 minutes. Okay. Clear. So what's the heart of the matter? According to you, angels. So what's going on with him? What needs to happen? What's some things that you're saying going on with him? He needs to trust. He does not trust. Our angels say he needs to trust because at this point, this divine master feels like with this sexual addiction is something that he can really use to hurt somebody. It might be something like he might say, I might stab somebody in the back. I might be acting like I'm trustworthy, but at the same time, I'm waiting to harm them because this person in which he's feeling, which is the divine feminine, seems like she wears a heart on her sleeve. She's very vulnerable. She's very open, and he really does not want to hurt her in the process. But he has to remember that higher power said they're working with him. He has to open up that third eye vision to be able to see exactly what this healthy relationship is going to be, what this relationship with the divine feminine is going to be, as well. Keep on seeing and visualize himself being in a healthy relationship. Clear. That's another thing. What's going on? What's going on in this divine masculine's thinking? Woo! Wow. And his emotions is a conflict. He wants this freedom here. He really actually does want this freedom. He believes that, again, part of this is with his divine feminine. She's kind of like, again, in awareness. In his emotions, he feels like he wants to, in awareness, because she seems like she's native. Every time when I see a native native person in the card, this lets me know that she has a good handle of the law of the land. She kind of really can be able to help him, lead him to freedom in this. But it's a conflict of, should I trust her to be able to do that? Because, hell, I can't even trust myself. So, again, he feels like, again, he wants to become vulnerable. It's like, wash me clean. Again, especially in his emotions here. This bearing himself. But he understands that he feels like, again, this thing that he wants to actually achieve, he feels like Icarus, and he feels like almost like that if he does that, he'll find this. I'm studying now the Orishi's gods, and so this is almost like Oshun. So he feels like the divine feminine is like Oshun, which is the goddess who is beautiful, of motherhood and everything beautiful, and embodies the whole divine feminine energies as well. But he feels at the same time, if he does that, he'll be like Icarus, which is the Greek god, which he created wings out of wax, and the closer he gets to it, to the sun, the wings melted, and so he fell to his death, parallel to that, because that's what he was trying to. So in some ways, he feels like him trying to ascend here. This is something that he's making himself do in order to get the sun. He also feels, again, that with this, he wants peace, really going with this sexuality, really down here, this whole thing. He really wants it to be at peace, not to feel like this second mind that he's dealing with is like a monster, and he has a control of a mind of his own. And it's like, I really want somebody to kind of step in. And this judgment, I heard somebody say the judgment card also means like divine intervention too, as well. It wants them to kind of step on in when it comes to that as well. What we doing? How many more time? It's almost down. Oh, no, not quite. Okay. Clear. When this person is this, what's happening with his? Let's see what's going on as far as the connection. There we go. Okay, he really wants this serious commitment. He wants to have something tangible in the material world to actually present to the divine feminine. He wants this intimacy too with her. He really wants me to almost just like, if I could just be with you too, find a way that even I find intimacy just being with you. We don't have to have sex. That's a goal that he wants to have. He wants the divine feminine to stay open to it, though he knows it's a conflict. But he wants to move from the past, moving forward, because again, it's kind of nostalgia in there. But he wants to take about what he's learned in the past to move that into the forward. He wants to embrace the divine feminine too, and he wants her to be able to hold him too. He knows that when it comes to this connection, he wants this to be in a way that it is an even equality as far as equal balance as far as giving and taking as far as pleasure this time when he is like she wants to make sure that she's just as equally pleasure as he is from them being together. And this to me is like light, like divinely. It's being divinely guided and light shined on them. He also wants to have this freedom, but he wants to also offer this big cup of love to the divine feminine too, as well. But he knows that he's got to eliminate some things too to get there. Okay. Clear. Woo. That's fine. He's doing that. He wants the sun. He wants everything underneath the sun. He's like, I know what I've done, but I still want this. He knows that he feels in some ways that having this divine feminine in his emotions is something that maybe be an illusion. Things look a little kind of cloudy right now, but again, if he relies on his intuition and his awareness, he can be able to visualize and see her being there. He wants this change. He wants to start creating, do some actions that's going to create this domino effect to create this change. So it's like one step creates everything else. He also knows that he wants the lovers. He understands that we seem like the lovers are going on two separate paths, but he knows eventually the paths will intersect and come together. So this is what he wants. He wants this Hierophant too as well. He knows he wants to move spiritually. He wants spirit to kind of work with him to be able to become this person that he wants to, this divine person, which is the highest form for divine masculines to be. But he knows that right now it's a conflict as far as with this ego of how he's going about doing things right now currently. Okay, in his actions. Clear. In his karmic actions, he knows he needs to do what? Let's do it again. Make it clear, make it plain. Thank you. In his actions, he knows he's got to, even with him or being in his karmic thing, he's got to offer this cup of love. He's got to get this thing together as far as this cup of love here. He understands that he still wants, although it's a conflict in gaining this, but he wants to end the cycle, but he does want to still be with his divine feminine here. He understands he wants to stimulate her. He wants to give her pleasure. She's working on it. She's guarding her solar plexus, which is her identity and standing in her power where she is. But she is grounded and rooted in these things. She's hard at work. This divine masculine, although he is handling his things, but he is still watching the divine feminine. He's seeing how she's going about to clean things up, spiritually, physically, these things. And he's also watching her on social media, anything at the job, anything that has glass he's looking at. He is finding ways that he's really ready to battle for this thing, although he's still masking some of his emotions, and he really still wants to defend even where he's at as well. But he knows it's time for him to strategize and to start getting things and movement into action as well. Okay. Who's the catalyst in this one? Who's pushing him to do this? Okay, stop. Okay, Ace of the Hearts. I don't know, I'll put that in there. He knows that, she said that's Ace, that's the Ace, but that's Ace of Clubs. He knows that he's got to offer that one cup. The catalyst is, and that's not by a fluke, is understanding that it's that ace, that cup of love, that practicing of self-love, which is going to be able to push her to that. Okay, is she up here? Okay. Okay. Okay, Spirit says that, clear, what he got to do in order to get into the flow of his emotions. They want him to start recognizing he know that he's got a problem. And they want him to stop contemplating on it and really actually start doing some action. Clear. As far as this divinity, he got to stop this codependency. He's codependent on this idea of something else, or feminine, or something else can give him pleasure. That they're a source of giving him pleasure. Just like what I said at the beginning. Clear. And he needs to go back to what he was in the womb, which was giving his own self pleasure. Yeah. Needs to surrender your fear of intimacy too. You are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Because again, if he goes back to that thing of practicing self-love and understanding that he is the source of love and the true source of his own love, he will not be looking for love in all the wrong places. Okay? And then what's the life changes that he needs to do? Oh, I didn't put that in there. How's that? Clear. He needs to dietary, how he's intaking information and importing information and taking things around him and letting it give him food for thought, or even food for his soul, or food for his heart, or food for his second brain. He needs to cut some of those things out. It's starting to have like more of a healthy outlook on things, allowing spirit, also culture, his crown chakra too has got to be able to give bloom to things. So he's got a lot of these downloads to come along, so it can be able to help him get in his heart space. And then he also has to find ways to join in. Now this is funny, when I look at this, it says join in, it reminds me of something of like joining a group, like a sexual addiction group, or some kind of like community, and getting a part of, because a lot of times you know, when you feel isolated, it makes you feel the whole situation seems like it kind of worsens when you're trying to deal with yourself. And if you can get you some support in it and finding other people who also have or suffer from it, or I don't like the word suffer, but also have that as well, they can be able to give you key points of how to be able to do that. It's funny, this butterfly behind that is blue, so it's, again, you got to communicate with others, help you to be able to have these, got orange here, healthy relationships, connect with others, so you can be able to manifest. Because right now you have like no color, it's colorless right now where it is, which is truly, it is in black and white. What you need to kind of deal with, clear, in your shadows, you need to deal with this divine masculine. You got to deal with anger and change. You're angry about some things here. It's got to deal with your ego. You got to cross some things out. You have some shattered, I want to say shattered psyche, human psyche. These things, as far as how you're really looking at yourself in the mirror, you're shattered too as well. And then you also are forgetting yourself in the whole process. You're thinking about how you could please other people or how people could please you, but you're not looking at yourself. You're masking your emotions. You're not becoming vulnerable. You're not becoming naked in this, and just saying, strip myself bare, strip myself naked and raw, so I can really truly look at the situation for what it is. Okay, I don't want destiny, that don't fit in there with that. Okay, and then clear. Okay, and so right now, let's just kind of really get an understanding. These two stick out with this divine masculine here. So right now, you need to, they want you, instead of mixed emotions, they want you to kind of gather together. They want you to become peaceful, understanding your emotions. You start sitting and thinking about that sexuality, whatever things that happened to you in the past, that you're saying, now that's set. That ship has now sailed, and it's time for you to set off for new horizons when it comes to this. And then they want you to really find some other things that inspire you, that get you, that creative juices going, almost feeling like you can have an orgasm off of that, because it's like, oh my God, this really satisfies me. So finding other creative ways in order to be satisfied other than just sex, to be able to find something that's more challenging, more stimulating, and moves you. just like the sex thing as well. So you got to find a replacement. Like what I say, in order for, I remember that psychology, in order for you to end something, it's got to be something, an exchange or something, a reward for you to be able to do that. Because you say, just stop, not no sex, and then that's it. It's like, okay, and then what I got in exchange for? Nothing? Okay, I'll go back to pleasing myself. Or I'll go back to having sex with everybody. So it's got to be like a trade-off for them. So again, find something that equally gets you that high so that you can be able to say, okay, you can take that sexual addiction back. I got this in return. I got peace in return. Thank you. You know, that's what you have to do. Last thing here, and then I'm going. What is some relationship advice clear the source wants to give this divine masculine that has sexual addiction as well? Remember again, although your partner might have sexual addiction too, but you have to remember again that we are one. So there's something that you can be working on your end. That might not, maybe you got candy or sweets or something else, and you drama, you like all that stuff that you can be working on that can be able to counterbalance to what's going on to your divine masculine. All right then. So now this is what they say in the relationship advice that source is giving you. Should I leave or should I stay? It said it is very empowering to discover that your patterns of thought do not have to follow your current situation, and therefore your current situation on all subjects can change. We do not recommend taking the physical action of leaving a relationship without deliberately coming into thought alignment with the new desires that have been born out of your current relationship. And then whether you stay in the relationship or move on to another, you can have exactly what you desire. So they say take introspection. What led you to get to this certain point that you are now in this relationship? That's, you know, they say, you know what, I don't want to repeat this. I don't want to take this into the new relationship, because again, if you haven't taken time, like when you leaving relationships like that, you should always take time out to take introspection and inventory as to what did I learn, what do I don't want to do over again, what do I want to leave here energetically, like a person here say, and then so when you go to your next one, you could come there with a clean slate. I think about one of my former students. She told me, she said, when I go move from a place, she said, I just leave all that stuff there. I was like, okay, that's interesting. She said, because I don't want to take that furniture and stuff to my new place. So most of the time, she said, I just leave it. She's saying, I let them deal with it. I said, okay, that's an interesting look at it. So that's the same thing. So in this one, you can, but I would say again, and she's youthful and she's young, but I would also say again, you know, really still take inventory into it. Like what things were good, what things do need to stay there, and you don't need to take with you as well. Because if you don't, you what? Doomed to repeat it. So that's important that you do that. All right then, people, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay extended. Namaste, Namago. Love you. Make sure that you get your union reading. Just $22, DivineUnionSouls11.co. Follows this video. All right then. See you next time.